Welcome back everybody, this is Tyler Wiebe from Pro Physique, and in today's video we're going to talk about warming up for your lift. Alright, welcome back everybody. I hope you are all having a fantastic start to the week and you are getting in the holiday mode. Thanksgiving is next week. Super excited. Always a fun time. Go down, eat some turkey, Thanksgiving, eat some stuffing, all that good stuff. Spend time with family. So hopefully you guys all have some fun plans and you're ready to go and spend some time with friends, family, doing it, whatever you're doing. So we are back here today. I got the puppy right here. So if you start to hear some noises, that's just Piper making some noise and letting her voice be heard. But we are going to try and get this done. Hopefully no interruptions. She is pretty sleepy today. So today the topic comes from one of my clients, and I think it is a fantastic topic to talk about because there is a lot of info out there on warming up. How should we warm up? Should we go sit on the treadmill for 5 minutes? Should we go sit on the bike for 5 minutes? Should we do all this dynamic, stretching? Should we static stretch? Should we be doing trigger points, activation work? There is a lot of opinions and there's a lot of things that are, oh, this is the best warm up ever. That's the best warm up ever. And so I was asked, how do I warm up and how should you warm up? So a little bit, I will have some clips from my warm-ups and I'll just do a little bit of a voiceover for you, giving you an idea of what things look like and how I go about things. But let's talk about warming up in general first. So why do we warm up? Well, because we want to get warm because we are going to lift some heavy ass weights. We need to get our joints going, we need to warm up the movement, we need to get the blood flow up, we need to increase our body temperature because that is going to decrease the risk of injury. You're not going to go from cold to lifting 225 pounds squatting. You are going to potentially get injured. You are greatly increasing the risk. So by warming the muscles up, getting blood flow to the specific muscles that you are going to be lifting, by getting the joints moving through the range of motion is going to be beneficial. Also, we also want to start light and start to work our way heavier so that we get the body, used to the heavy. And we're not just going in, like I said, from 0 to 225. That is just not going to be beneficial for anyone, especially you, who probably doesn't want to take any time off from lifting. So should we, let's say, get on the bike or the treadmill and just walk or ride the bike for 10, 15, 20 minutes? You do see a lot of that, and that then tends to be the go-to warm-up for a lot of people. The problem with this is that if you were to actually just spend some time going through a more dynamic warm-up, so let's take the squat for example, because that's the video I will be showing later. You are squatting, you're not walking on the treadmill for your workout. Now, the treadmill can increase your body temperature, but it does take 10, 15 minutes. It does take a little bit of time. Precious time that you could be spent practicing a movement that you are actually going to be doing in the workout. So instead of hopping on the treadmill for 10 minutes or the bike, go try squatting first. Do some body weight squats, do some goblet squats, or if you are strong enough and you're going to be working with some higher weights, just start off with the bar. Do a few reps. Get that movement pattern warmed up because that's what you're going to be doing during the workout. You are not walking on the treadmill. So I would say that doing the movement is going to be a lot more beneficial and take a lot less time to get your body temperature up to where it needs to be ready for a workout. It's only going to take 5, 6, 7 minutes depending on how fast you kind of do your warm-up. So it can decrease the amount of time and not really waste your time anymore because more practice in a movement is going to transfer over into the weights that you are actually doing at the higher weights. So you are practicing the movement, and you can never have enough practice when it comes to things like squats, deadlifts, technical movements that you really do need to always kind of be working on and making sure that form is going to be perfect for whatever your body type might be. So let's scratch the treadmill And I would again advise just jump into the movement that you're going to be doing and starting off light. And you'll see that in the videos coming up. Should we be static stretching? So this is another very popular one that a lot of people like to do. They'll come in, they'll stretch out the chest, they'll do one of these, one of those, they'll get up against the wall, stretch out the chest, about to hit some bench, bro. Does that really help? No. Stretching, static stretching, in fact, just helps you get better at stretching and probably doesn't actually induce any changes within the muscle length and actually cause a lot of flexibility, I guess you could say. So really, a lot of static stretching is only going to get you better at stretching, and there's also the risk of increased injury, and you're also potentially decreasing some of your power output for the workout. So static stretching is definitely out, something that I just would not recommend to do really before a workout. Post-workout, I think you could even have an argument for, is it really necessary? Especially if you are lifting with a full range of motion, you're getting quite a bit of stretching into that and a lot of mobility. So static stretching is out. No static stretching. Now we come into more of a dynamic stretching, a dynamic routine. Now this is going to be pretty specific to each individual depending on certain things. Like, do they have an old injury? Do they have a new injury? Is there something that they've seen a professional, like a chiropractor, a physiotherapist, which is a physical therapist in the US, that has said, okay, you have really, really tight hips. Here's a dynamic movement pattern that I'm going to want you to do to open up the hips. The nice thing about this is that you're actually taking the body through a full range of motion that is dynamic. So it's like lifting, right? Lifting is going to be more dynamic than a static stretch, right? Because you're moving through a plane of movement. And so with that dynamic stretching, you are then actively warming up muscles that are going to help you lift better in, let's say, a squat. So a squat hold, where you just get down into that goblet squat position. You can have a kettlebell or you can do body weight and you just sit there, right? So you're still practicing the movement pattern at a lot less weight and working through that range of motion. So I think a dynamic movement or a dynamic stretching pattern before a workout can be very helpful in that it can open you up and increase your mobility. But that is going to be something specific. If you've got really no nicks or pains, you lift with full range of motion, you're feeling pretty good, then just warm up the movement. That is going to be your best bet. So at the end of the day, we should always really start off nice and light with whatever movement you're going to do first. And I do this for every body part if I have not hit it that day. Now, if I've done like a lat pull down and I've got a row next, well, I'm not going to spend a lot of time warming up the row because my back's already getting through, it's starting to warm up. But I will at least give it 1 or 2 warm-up sets just to really kind of feel the muscle, get the contraction going, mind a muscle connection, and then jump into my working sets. So I don't really spend a whole lot of time warming up, doing a lot of dynamic movements. That's probably something that I should be doing more of. But I find that if you lift with a full range of motion and you can stay relatively healthy doing that, you're going to be good to go. Alright guys, so let's go ahead, let's jump into these videos. I am warming up my squat. It was a deload week, so it is going to be a little bit lighter than what I am used to, but the same principles still apply, and they are going to look different for each individual, right? Because it's not like, someone might go from the bar to 135 to 225 the way I do, but you can still get an idea of the jumps, the reps, and the sets for your warm-up. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video. I speeded up here for you guys just so it's not taking too long, but here I started off with the bar. I was feeling really good today, so just 11 reps. I'll usually have a range of 11 to 15 here, just to really feel how my squat is feeling, if there's any areas that are tight, but I definitely try and treat it like a normal rep here. I'm just going to open up the hips a little bit, get a feel for the bar, and again, just see how my body is feeling. So from here, I always typically jump to 135, so just a plate on each side. And I'll roughly do the same amount of reps, again, based upon how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling a little extra tight or cold that day, I'll actually do this again, just to really ensure some warm-up with some lighter weight. So just 9 reps here. Then typically we jump to 225 as the reps start to drop. So here we're doing just 5 reps, again, just feeling the body, how is everything going? And what's going to be my next jump. So here, We jumped to 265 since the working sets. I lied in the video. The working sets were 290. I was feeling really, really good this day, so I didn't need to do another warm-up. So we stopped at 265, 3 reps, and then jumped into 290. All right, guys. So as you can see, pretty straightforward. Nothing super complicated. Keeps it nice and easy, but allows me to really warm up the movement pattern without getting too fatigued, but making sure that, hey, everything's feeling good, I'm feeling solid with my form, and I'm ready to go. And then that way, you have that last warm-up, you're hitting like 10, 15 pounds right below what you're about to do, so you get a good feel for how heavy that weight is potentially, is going to be, which just really allows you to get into that right mindset and allows the body to get used to, okay, here's what we're doing today. It's gonna be heavy, but we've warmed up enough where, okay, you know what, it actually feels pretty good, feels light, my form feels fantastic, here we go. So that is how I would warm up. If you guys do need anything more specific, go see a professional. They can give you those to you. I would highly recommend a physical therapist or a chiropractor, someone who does deal with athletes. I do think that is something that needs to be said, that if you are gonna go see a professional, make sure that they understand the mindset of an athlete of, I'm not gonna stop lifting just because, X hurts. Right? Like, we're going to work around it, but I want to continue to work through this issue so that I can continue to lift heavy. So that is a very important thing because not everyone does understand that mentality. All right, guys, that is going to be everything for today. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your Monday night, and we'll chat soon.